Well, hello there, everyone. The NFL season is about to begin. How exciting. And I plan to do one of these Q&As each week of the season. So let's have some fun with this. Thanks to all of you guys that went to Twitter at the Jeff Schlegel is the Twitter handle and tweeted your questions. Let's go ahead and get started. Jeff's ego. Oh boy, Vinny. He's got a question. What are your true feelings about my lampooning Twitter page? Okay. I have no problem with lampooning, parody, satire. I enjoy it, get a kick out of it. I am comfortable enough now at age 36 to be able to say most stuff that people are probably going to say about me, good, bad, or otherwise, is true. And if I can't acknowledge who I am, if I can't accept who I am, good, bad, and otherwise, then I've got bigger fish to fry and bigger problems to deal with. So I have absolutely no problem with good parody, good satire, mocking me, making fun of me. But in general, Vinny, with all offense taken, you suck at it. All right? Very simply, you suck at it. I don't think you get the basic fundamental concept of parody or satire. It's literally just like you want to mock, but not in a mock, poke fun at way, but a mock type of way. And if you're going to do that, then you might as well just use your regular government name to do that. It's just... And you're using Jeff's ego. And a lot of your tweets have nothing to do with my actual pretty well-established, healthy, massive size ego. So I would maybe suggest stick to what the Twitter handle actually says. Now, sometimes you do stupid things like you randomly bring up things about Justice Winslow. Yeah, okay, maybe I was wrong about Justice Winslow. Not the first time I'm going to be wrong about something. Not the last time I'm going to be wrong about something. But in that same draft, we've always failed to mention how right I was about Kristaps Porzingis, and it's not exactly like I didn't say Karl Anthony Towns wasn't going to be a stud at the NBA level, because I believe I said he was. You never point out any of the things that I'm actually correct on, that I'm actually right about. And there is plenty of that, and it is very easy for you to sit there behind your keyboard and your mock Twitter profile and poke holes in different things I've said, but I'm the one that's got to come on here and record these videos and put them out there for perpetuity on YouTube. And I don't go and delete videos because I ended up being invalidated, being proven wrong, because it is what it is. It's the way I felt at the time, so be it. So the Justice Winslow thing, that's annoying and dumb. Get the fuck over it. And you talk about going to school to get into journalism, and then you mock me about things about my background and different stuff. Dude, you're fucking talking about you're 18 years old and you're the dumbass that went to school for journalism. You're wasting your time at Hofstra getting a degree in a dying field. Who's the dumbass here? That's number one. Number two, when you talk about the fact that I'm not married, you stupid fuck. Ashley and I have been together for over 6 years, lived together for over 4 now. What that means to you is that her and I have been together longer than you've been masturbating. All right? Worry about your own stuff. And I would advise that if you so desperately believe that you can actually get into the sports journalism field and make a name for yourself and do something about it, learn a couple of things. Number one, it really isn't all that important in the grand scheme of things, whether you're right or wrong. See idiots like Nick Wright, Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith as a perfect example of what actually in general makes it in today's sport journalism world. It has nothing to do with quality of work. It has nothing to do with accuracy or correctness. Believe me. And if you don't believe that, then you're a moron. Number two, if you want to make it, then instead of just poking holes in somebody else's stuff and doing it rather idiotically, mind you, maybe actually put some of your own work out there. You say you do. No, you fucking don't. Start putting your own hot takes out there. Start putting stuff out there that's documented. Start being able to come back to stuff that you say is right. Because more often than not, of course, you are wrong. Just like your entire fucking family, when you want to go into personal shit, the fucking birthers that you were all around sat there and supported Trump in 2016, and now you want to pretend like you weren't that big on it. Bullshit, buddy. You might selectively remember, but I completely remember. Let's not talk shit about anybody else's fucking family background when you're surrounded by a bunch of fucking Trumpers. Okay? I have no problem with the parody and satire, but actually make it parody and satire and make it good and make it funny, and you do none of that. And honestly, speaking as somebody that's old enough to be your fucking dad, maybe, just maybe, learn from some of my mistakes, learn from some of my issues from over the years and where I've went wrong and be better. And maybe instead of spending so much time on social media mocking somebody else, maybe try to invest yourself more time, more energy, more effort into what you're doing and try to make something out of yourself. Because right now, if I was a newspaper or some other type of website in a few years and you had your degree in journalism, which, newsflash, buddy, isn't going to really mean a whole lot of shit. They're going to ask you, where's your work? What do you have? What's your portfolio look like? What's your resume like? And you're not going to have any of that shit. You're going to have a crappy social media page. Then who's the fucking idiot? Do the parody if you want, but actually make a parody or stop doing the shit. But don't be surprised when you say something stupid. I'm going to call you out on it. I'm going to bury your ass. And I don't care what you want to say. You've been buried by me over and over and over and over again. Get a clue, get laid, get a life, then come back and see me. Moving on. Dave Garcia. If Mike Glennon's so bad the first 2 weeks, should Trubisky start? Yes. Because if it's clearly obvious that you're not going to win anything with Glennon, then Trubisky is clearly your best option to win games. And that's what it comes down to. I expect by the end of week 4, we'll get to that point. But if he stinks up to join in 2 weeks, then it needs to be Trubisky time, period. NFL buff Coleman, do you think Carson Palmer is overrated? Overrated in what sense? I don't really hear people talk about him being a Hall of Famer. Honestly, I still think it was a joke that he won the Heisman Trophy back in 2002. That really honestly should have been Brad Banks of Iowa. He just, to me, had the better season, meant more to his team, didn't have nearly as much talent around him as Carson Palmer did at USC. I think he's always been known as a very good quarterback, franchise type of guy. I don't know if he's really ever been thought of as truly elite, so I don't think he's overrated. I think people view him about where he is. Matthew Nepgen. I've got $50 to spare. What's your best bet for the Super Bowl? Outside of the Patriots, because the payoff there would be the least, I would say throw some money behind the Cowboys. Because again, it's about odds and try to get the maximum amount of return. Who else? Maybe a Seattle if the odds are good. Because if you go down and put down $50, but you can sit there and win 10, 11, 12 times that with the Dallas or Seattle, that's much more valuable than if you could only get 3 or 4 times that by putting it on New England. Alex Shirley 10, is the Chicago Bears offensive line underrated? I think the interior of their line is underrated a little bit. I think Charles Leno, the left tackle, gets overlooked just a little bit. I don't think he's great, but I think he's serviceable. And honestly, when they just gave him this big contract, they really paid him big-time right tackle money, which won't preclude them from upgrading the left tackle position at some point and flipping them to the other side, which I think is the long-term plan here. A little bit underrated. It's definitely improved over the past couple of years. Chesley Bear, what team could be a surprise playoff team? Excuse me, still trying to get over this cold. Maybe somebody like the Chargers, because you talk about teams with first-year NFL head coaches, and a lot of times when you have each year, there's like one team with a new head coach that makes it to the playoffs. So maybe it's somebody like the Chargers. Maybe it is somebody like the Bills. Maybe it is somebody like the Eagles, even though they don't have a first-year head coach. That could be some of the teams I would think of off the top of my head. Matthew Choi, who is your offensive and defensive rookies of the year? Right now, shit. Defensive rookie of the year, I'll throw out Malik Hooker. Offensive rookie of the year, I'll throw out Dalvin Cook. Let's see here. CX Kelly. Deshaun Kaiser and Joe Mixon predictions for the rookie year. For Mixon, I think it takes a couple of games for the Bengals to finally realize, oh my God, he is the best option we have in the backfield and for him to be the bell cow back. But I anticipate that happens. But it's kind of weird that Marvin Lewis would delay the decision when I think everybody else can clearly see what the truth is. And then once he gets in, I expect if he's given the opportunity to be the bell cow, he'll still finish with over 1,000 yards rushing as a rookie. Deshaun Kaiser, I think he could potentially show a little bit of something in his rookie year. I think people are going to have to be patient. The organization, the coaching staff, the team is going to have to be patient with him because he's going to have those moments where he doesn't look so good. But I think as time goes along, he could potentially show himself to be a guy where there is some future for him at the NFL level. Sam Simmons, excuse me again. Can the Eagles make the postseason, and would you still take Carson Wentz over Dak Prescott? I do think the Eagles have a chance to make the postseason, even though I personally don't think they will in 2017. I would still take Carson Wentz over Dak Prescott at this point because it was only 1 year that's gone by. You also have to look at the situations they were put into. How would Carson Wentz have done in a situation where he had Ezekiel Elliott, Des Bryant, Jason Witten, and the best offensive line in football by quite a bit? And how would Dak have done in Philadelphia with none of those things? Now we see Carson Wentz has some upgraded pieces around him on the offensive side of the ball. Let's see how he looks in 2017 in comparison to Dak. Matt House Sammer, what do the Lions need to do to win playoff games? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know at this point because they can get there every couple of years. They just can't win them. They do need to be able to run the ball better. That would probably be the first thing that I would call out. But other than that, I don't know what to tell you other than be better. Jake Richardson, are the Steelers good enough to finally beat the Patriots? I suppose the ultimate answer to that question is going to come in January. I think they can. I don't know that they will, but I believe they're one of the few teams in the NFL that can still beat them when the chips are down and when it really matters. I know people are going to point to Kansas City, and Kansas City's victory in Week 1 was impressive. Alex Smith played the best he's going to play all year. Kareem Hunt showed what he could do in that offense. Tyreek Hill is a stud. The Chiefs are a really good team. So, the Patriots have some work to do, obviously, but the Patriots are still the Patriots. They're still the gold standard, and let's not rush to too much judgment after one game. But I think the Steelers are as well equipped as anybody ultimately at come playoff time in the AFC to beat them. Young Savage Zero. How many more years will Aaron Rodgers play at an elite level? I would say 5 to 6. I think 5 to 6. Josh Brose. Can Jordan Howard have a repeat performance? I most certainly hope he can. Most certainly hope he can. Because he had an impressive year last year. And like I said, based off of the lack of surrounding cast around him, I thought his rookie season on the ground was more impressive than Ezekiel Elliott's. Especially when you look at the numbers. DeQuanta Clark. Thoughts on Jacoby Brissett trade and Brock Osweiler going back to Denver. Brock Osweiler going back to Denver is just funny to me, plain and simple. The Jacoby Brissett trade is a very simple indication that there are problems with Andrew Luck that the organization is not acknowledging right now. I'll be stunned if he plays the first month of the season, and if they start off bad behind Tolzien, that means they probably go to Brissett, and there might come a point in time where you have to consider using this as a redshirt year for Luck in 2017. They didn't trade for Brissett for no freaking reason. And I think they know Tolzien's not very good, and they know Luck is quite a ways away from playing. It's just my opinion. That's what I think happened, and that's why the trade was made. Horsepower 97. Thoughts on Alshon Jeffrey and what he brings to the Eagles? Here's what he's going to bring to you. A couple of games a year where he puts up big numbers, and he looks like a number 1 wide receiver. Then several other games where you're paging Alshon Jeffrey because you have no clue where the fuck he is because he's clearly not in the game. Oh, look, he is in the game. What the hell is he doing? Because he hasn't made any difference or impact whatsoever. Then you're going to deal with nagging injuries and he'll miss a few games. That's what you're getting out of Alshon Jeffrey. I'll tell you flat out. And I base that off of his 5 years in Chicago. Ultimately, you get frustration because you look at a guy and you say, man, he could do some great things. But he's not a great route runner. He's a big body with speed that will surprise you. But he's limited in what he can do as a receiver, which is ultimately why sometimes he could be so easily taken out of the game by a defense that knows what the hell they're doing. Matt Montmini. Are the Giants a lock to win the NFC East? No, they didn't win it last year. I don't see where the Dallas Cowboys regress that much. If any team in the NFC East was a lock to win it, it would be the Cowboys at this point. But even I indicated in my preview of both teams that I thought it was close going to be a dogfight, even though I did pick the Cowboys to win. But no, I don't think the Giants are a lock to win the East. Torah, who's the team that's going to make the biggest regression in 2017? I said the Atlanta Falcons, and I got to let it shit for that, and that's fine. Whatever. Who else could make a big regression? I don't know if you count the Jets as a regression because this is a clear example of them wanting to tank. I really don't know other than that at this point. I said maybe the Denver Broncos will be another team that will regress some. That's just a few of them. And then Sam Walker, after the preseason, how do you still feel about Trubisky? Do you still feel the same about him? The dude hasn't even suited up to play a regular season game. I stand by everything I said about Trubisky and the trade up to get him, the selecting of him, good, bad, and otherwise. And now we need to remember, I didn't say flat out Trubisky was a bust. And I didn't say he had zero NFL potential. I never said that. In fact, my NFL comparison for him was Andy Dalton, who's going on his 7th year in the league as a starter. I said Trubisky could make some big-time special money throws. He's got nice athleticism and mobility. I wish he was bigger. I question his decision-making and confidence and consistency at times. I thought his field vision kind of came and went at North Carolina. There was upside there, but I wondered just how much upside there was. And the fact is, I just didn't think he was the best quarterback talent in the 2017 draft. I still think both Mahomes and Kaiser were better, and ultimately only time will tell. But what matters to me at this point is he is that guy. He's going to be given a chance at some point in time to be the future, and I sure as hell am going to throw all of my energies and efforts behind hoping and wishing and praying that he is that dude, because there will be no satisfaction for me coming back in 3 years if Trubisky is another Blake Bortles type and he isn't that guy, because all that does is it means the Chicago Bears as an organization wasted several more years of my life as a Bears fan with this bad decision, and now it's back to the drawing board and a whole nother rebuilding project. Nothing to accomplish here. I've been right about enough other things with the Bears over the years. This is one where I could stand to be wrong. I want to be wrong, and I'm truly wishing that I am wrong. Because if Trubisky can be that guy, then it changes the whole outlook of the Bears organization for the next decade to come. And that's what matters at this point. But anyways, thanks to you guys again for submitting all of your questions. I'll be back before week 2 for another Q&A, and make sure you check out all the other content NFL related I'm going to be doing this season on this channel.